When you think about your business, how's your business using data differently? I know we've been talking a little bit about security and endpoints and automation, right? But how are your users using data differently, or what are they doing with data that's a little bit different?
When you think about nonprofit fundraising in general, it can be a struggle, right? Because you're trying to get those folks that are engaging with your services to contribute, right? And they have a cause and a passion. What's unique about higher ed fundraising is that we have a stocked pond of alumni, people that have loyalty to the University of Cincinnati. So we have, the joke is you can open the alumni directory and start calling it A, right? And engage those alumni. But how do we do it smart and make sure that the folks that we are providing potential leads to are well engaged, have the capacity to make gift, and actually also have the philanthropic interest in your institution. So the idea of finding the interest data and understanding how people engage with us is a constant quest that we're on. We can send you, if you graduated from the engineering school, would you please support the engineering school? But that doesn't mean that you have any interest in it. Whereas perhaps you've moved on and now you're really interested and passionate about curing cancer because it's affected someone in your life. So we're constantly trying to understand what affinity does a constituent have to the university or to the health system so that we can pair them and communicate with them strategically and make sure that we're serving up the best content to them. So when I say that we're an Amazon or a Netflix expectation, it really is. People want to land on our site and have us know that they're passionate about cancer, which wouldn't that be great if we had the magic wand to be able to read folks' mind? But that's the kind of challenge that we're faced with all the time is moving beyond capacity and engagement to really understanding interest.
Yeah, well, I'm at University of Cincinnati alumni, and I definitely get the communications and so forth. But I understand exactly what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to read my next newsletter and see what it says about myself and what angle that the data told you, right?
We'll be sure to send you a very targeted ad, Ben. So.
Sounds good. Well, one of the things I think when you think about the teams in this marketplace today, you mentioned Amazon from a data, and everybody is competing with them in one way or another. Maybe 2 degrees of separation, but we're all competing for the same talent, right? Do you think there is a talent crisis out there around data? And what are your thoughts around that?
Absolutely. I think that we have the unique opportunity here at the university to influence that and have great programs where we're developing the latest and greatest. But of course, there's competition everywhere, from industry that can pay better to provide those perks to really having folks that understand the industry and understand the technical aspects of it. And I think that that's the unique space that we find ourselves in. Is my son, for example, right now is in a data analytics program, and he can take that and go to an NGO or he can go to Google. How do we also educate him about business and make sure that his education is applicable to the industry to which he wants to work in? I think the other thing that we've lost is that's probably not a fair word, but that we need to continue to focus on is what are those other humanities skills that we're teaching our data analysts and technical folks that are coming out. They still need to be able to write. They still need to be able to think. They still need to have the critical thinking skills. And it's not just here, go bang out this code, right? But how is this going to actually influence the business in which I'm in? So I think for sure, we have a talent gap because folks are shipping stuff overseas, which it's less expensive. We have folks here in the United States that can pay much more. And then we have not as many people coming out of schools with these degrees. It is refreshing, however, to see how much higher ed is investing, and even in community colleges as well, and where the nation is thinking about college and how we're helping folks get into those advanced professions so that we can address this talent gap in the United States.
Yeah, I think one of the key things, because I have a computer degree from Cincinnati, but I also have a business degree, and I think being well-rounded, like you just said, is very important. And I think when you think about data and you mentioned humanities and some of these other different areas of focus, it's going to be very important because we're coding computer algorithms that determine something. And if we don't have a diverse background and understanding, we're going to be slanted, and that's going to impact and play into some of the issues we've been having out there in the marketplace today, or society today as a whole too. So
absolutely.
I think being well-rounded is very important.
How are you keeping an eye on the biases that you're bringing into the code? How are you keeping an eye on all the questions that you're asking, and are they germane and appropriate? And so couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.